One, two, three. Hey, once again. So I think that there's this piece of news that many of us probably have overlooked due to this, U.S. military invasion to Iran. They've also launched a military operation in Ecuador, South America, obviously. And I believe it happened like on the 4th of March. So, just a couple days ago. So it looks like the big dogs, the big players, right? They are engaging, like they are triggering a cascade of conflicts to fulfill some underlying agenda of digitalization, of enforcing the AI so that, millions and hundreds of millions of people are left jobless, homeless, and broke. And they start fighting each other. This is their plan. This has been their plan all along. Man, I don't have any energy, any mood. Especially, I'm not in a good mood. I'm almost never in a good mood recently. I guess, go watch the previous video if you can handle that emotional, passionate outbreak, sorta. So we got this piece of news. The US launched operation against drug cartels in Ecuador. Well, South America is famous for that. Just as Mexico, I guess. If there is anybody from the Latin America or Mexico watching me right now, just confirm that in the comments, guys. Like, what's the situation out there, especially Ecuadorians? Because I've spoken, first off, I've been to Ecuador several years back in the past. I guess I was there in April of 2021, so it's almost like 5 years as I've visited that beautiful country. I've seen nothing but good, decent people smiling, enjoying their lives, going on with their lives. But then something happened. There was this, I guess in 2024, there was this situation where some gangs, I don't know who, like some criminal orgs, they kind of captured the news tellers on some of the Ecuadorian channel, during basically a live program, So this was some sort of an alarm bell of where this world was flying, should I say. We're not going anywhere in this time. We're literally flying into the void, into a self-destructive void, black hole, which is gonna consume everything and everybody. So maybe it's a good time to join some nomad group. If there are any nomads watching, if you need any help, drop me a comment or contact me. I'd be happy to, because I'm a grown-ass healthy man, who's got strength and who's got mind. And who sees this world as a shit show. There's no better word to describe that. Modern world is a shit show, is a complete shit show, where everybody is lying to another, to everybody else. As far as this piece of news goes, the official statement is that, the US Southern Command announced the start of an active phase of combating transnational criminal groups in Ecuador, jointly with the country's military. So I believe this is a thing. Yet another conflict. Who would have guessed? Because what do we need in these times? Yeah, of course, more conflicts, more destruction, more chaos. Come on, let's get all the way, right? If we are diving in, let's dive in all the way. Let's destroy anything and everything that we possibly can. Let's make everybody's life a living hell. Let's start a new world war, if it's not already started. Because the amount of local conflicts is over the top, is over the roof, and yet people are more worried fighting one another than their so-called governments. Yeah, because governments got guns. But then again, there are people who are working in these power structures. Police, military, man, other kind of services. It's so strange to me that none of them, they don't want to see the bigger picture. Or maybe they are just bots. Maybe it's that Star Wars episode, Attack of the Clones. I guess it was the second one from the early 2000s. Maybe that's some kind of maybe they clone them nowadays. Maybe they just like violence. Maybe they have some, they gain satisfaction from being sadistic towards the civilians. The very same civilians who operate and produce all the infrastructure that they later on consume too. Let's imagine the worst case scenario. All of the civilians, all of these, the farmers, the shoppers, the commercial structures, the financial structure. Imagine they have all been wiped out. What then? We're gonna be fighting with sticks and stones? Is that what you want us to do? Is that what you want us to do? I'm disappointed to the very goddamn core of my existence. Just disappointed in this goddamn world and in the human race in general. Just disappointed. But then again, back to it. So the operation started on March 3rd, not 4th. Yeah, I was mistaken, sorry. And American military personnel joined forces with the armed forces of Ecuador to eliminate organizations recognized as terrorists. Obviously. This refers to drug cartels that have been destabilizing the region for decades through violence and corruption. Well, yeah, as I mentioned, I've been speaking with some peeps from the Ecuador while having some of my technical sort of like interviews. And yeah, one of those guys actually advised me not to visit like particular cities in Ecuador or particular like sub-regions of the country, specifically like closer to the ocean. Well, now I understand why. I think the tourism is over globally. Why do I always get like the worst part of it all? Why cannot I just live the normal goddamn life? Just working and paying taxes. But no. You're not eligible to do this. You need paper for this. You need paper for that. And when I have those papers, you need more papers. Suddenly. The ones that you will never be able to get. Even if you wanted to. Man, this is a completely different topic. So yeah, let's finish with this one, then I'll move on to it. So they say that together we are taking decisive action to combat narco-terrorists who have long sought terror, violence, and corruption among citizens across the entire hemisphere. It's the entire hemisphere now, or is it just Ecuador, or is there something else going on? So the head of the Southern Command, General Francis Donovan, I don't know like how to correctly pronounce his surname, last name, highly praised the unwavering dedication of the Ecuadorian armed forces to this fight. Their courage and determination shown during operations against narco-terrorists in their country. The official version is pretty much, it's sort of white. It's godly, right? It's for let's cleanse the world from these criminals, sort of. But what if it's just, what if there is another underlying agenda? What if all that, sort of like drug trafficking has just like gotten a little bit out of control? And maybe these operations are just designed and executed in order to have a grip on these, on this traffic, so that the governments have their own like financial interest in it. Remember, a government is not your friend. It's never your friend. It wants you dead. I'm speaking like as an expat from Ukraine. Ukrainian government wants everybody, every citizen of Ukraine dead. No matter what they tell you. They are all like in this together. They're playing along. They are mirroring each other with Russia, It's a complete mirror. If you take a look at the details, it's a complete mirror. Almost as if there is like a third force that is controlling both sides of that war. So, back to it. I think, personal opinion, just for entertainment purposes only, and scientific, of course, and educational. So this is just a comedy show. I'm just laughing here. Can you see? Yeah, I'm trying my best. But the underlying agenda is that they want to control the traffic. It's not about, the drug wars are not about eliminating the traffic corridor, sort of, ways or routes. It's about controlling them. It's about like having your own take in it. Because that's a huge amount of money, and all they think about is money. They don't care how many people die of like something like a fentanyl somewhere on the streets of LA. They don't care about that. They never did, man. I'm not an American, but I've seen like those those vids about like Kensington, for example. It's hell on earth. Just as Ukraine now is hell on earth to live in. Because there's manhunt. There's AI everywhere. Everybody's getting cut off. I personally, with all my experience, with all my energy and will to be of value, to be of help, yeah, I cannot find it either. To the stupidest of reasons, man. To the stupidest shitty reasons. And the main thing is, I'm not in control of anything. I don't know. I just have these dark thoughts. I just have these the darkest of the darkest thoughts. Because my mind works in a way it always assumes the worst case scenario. And as you can see in the world around us, only worst case scenarios are now manifesting and happening. There's only one thing we can do about it as a collective. Really, it's become nomads. It's become a tribe of nomads. Grab all the resources that we have, go ahead somewhere, I don't know, on an island, but not that kind of island, of course, and try and build our own house or like our own community. At least one house would be enough. That would be a start. I've seen peeps doing some bushcrafting type stuff and building sort of like residencies and places to live and spaces to live in that do not require, you know, millions and millions of dollars. I don't even know what I wanted to say with this video, man. I'm just so disappointed in everything. In everything. If you think I'm a pessimist, no, you wouldn't be correct. I want things to get better, at least a little bit better. That would be a start. That would be something nice. Because, you know, this productivity cult, this, you know, militaristic heroism or something like that. Also, just a concept. It's just a concept. Everything like that is just a concept. I'm trying to think of something to say, but no thoughts come to mind. No thoughts come to mind. Probably when bombs start flying all over the world, in each and every country, then you understand. Because when you will feel it, you will get it. And I don't want this to happen. But it seems like it doesn't matter what I want. If there is God in this world, I think it's about time he showed up. Because if he doesn't, we're done. I'm just fucking done. Have a good one. If you can. See you next time. If there is a next time.